Check this out. So we have this cool image here. Now, I want to kind of take you through this, but I also want to explain the dealio here, because I know there's been so much confusion and so many people have different opinions about all the AI leak photos and everything that's going on out there. So I figured it would be a good time to kind of break down some things that were going on. So I guess I just wonder what you guys make of everything that was going on. I think we talked about this on Thursday last week, right? And I did a stream explaining that what I think is happening is that somebody has accurate photos to Doomsday, and people are running those photos through AI in order to sort of hide their trail, so that Marvel cannot identify who the original images were given to and track them down, and also to avoid copyright stuff and things of that nature. Now, I saw Chris from 3C Films kind of come to the same conclusion. I don't know if he saw my clip or not, or maybe he just came to the conclusion on his own. A lot of people sort of tagged me in that post that he had about it. And I think a lot of others are starting to believe that that's what it is. Now, the reason I want to bring this image to your mind is this is an account that claims to have the actual images, okay? And something really interesting is happening here, where this person decided to, instead of use AI, they are literally doing drawings. So they are sketching and drawing the images that they have, okay? And this is really interesting to me because it's, I mean, number one, it's like, okay, so everybody's doing this AI thing. This is a person that's potentially maybe anti-AI or wants to do, human created things instead. But ultimately, if this person is telling the truth, they are literally doing the same thing that the AI people are doing, except they're drawing it themselves. I mean, technically, this is still spreading trade secrets of this big media company and images that are not supposed to be out there, right? So I just find it to be kind of interesting. But we can go through some of the things that were said here, and then I want to kind of explain a little bit more of what I think is going on here. This is apparently what Reed Richards is going to look like in the movie. And Yelena, it says here, Yelena looks exactly that she did in the post-credit scene. Her makeup does eat in the photo, though. Again, this person claims to have the photos. Sue wears a jacket like this, too. I don't know how Sue and Ben look. I only saw Reed and Johnny. I don't know personally. It's just based off the photos I saw. He was doing this pose in the picture you guys seen. Yes. Yeah, so kind of interesting. Now, if you believe this, then it means, at the very least, those photos are out in the wild. And so if we know that the Avengers Doomsday photos are out in the wild, and also, doesn't this look like it's a white background? You know what I mean? We don't know how accurate to the photos this drawing is, but it kind of matches up with those other ones insofar as it's like that promotion image, right? It's the white background, it's the soft lighting, neutral white balance, so that they can go in and put effects over top of it. So I know there's a lot of discussion out there about what is going on, but I think this thing here is yet again another piece of evidence to suggest that my original theory is correct. And we saw even more photos, man. They're actually going a bit crazy with them, to the point that it almost feels like it's misdirection, like the Russos themselves are putting it out there, which is kind of interesting and kind of funny. But I continue to believe that these are based off of actual photos, that there's a lot of shenanigans going on right now, and there's probably fake photos being thrown out there to throw Marvel off. But I think within them, we're actually getting a look, generally speaking, at how these characters are going to look. So I want to now open it up to the questions in the chat and see what you guys think. Do you see what I'm saying here? Have you seen anything else that you have a question about as far as the photos? And do you think this here sort of proves that, yes, there are real photos out there that are being seen by people, and it's therefore, I think, likely that the ones we saw last week are AI-generated images based off of real promotional images for Marvel Studios. So I'll pull up the chat. I'm just curious, man. I'm just curious as to what you guys make of this entire situation. I don't see the value in hiding Reed's outfit. I'm not sure what you mean. I don't think they're hiding the outfit per se. They're hiding everything. So, yeah. Struggling a little extra today. Hearing you talk nerd stuff is keeping me grounded. Thank you for going live. I've been there. I have been to the edge of that cliff. I have stared into the abyss, and I totally understand what that is like. So no worries, man. Let your mind rest and just chill. Just chill with the homies for a little bit, okay? Dudes of hazmat art style. Yeah, I mean, the art style is a little unique. I don't think it's bad, though. Is the new Doom pick with his back turned real? Tough to say. I mean, I sort of think a lot of what is going on is pointing to, it's giving us a taste of what it actually looks like, but, could be altered because of that AI. So I don't know exactly what image you're talking about. I've seen one where Doom is kind of like hanging there. There's one where Doom's costume is hanging and Pedro's like in front of him and stuff like that. And again, I mean, my take is that's generally speaking accurate to the look in the film, but probably altered via AI. Didn't we know this was Reed's look from that leaked crew member bag? He had the same jacket on the bag. Okay, that's a good point. Yeah, and I actually don't 100% remember what he looked like in that, but that's fair to say. And a lot of people are bringing that up. Was Gambit on that bag? Was Gambit bald? It's kind of seeming like that one pic that y'all said was definitely not real that I somehow thought was real. It's probably not real because Gambit probably is bald and has the cut, but that was makeup, so he could still have hair, guys. Like, remember when we saw that? Here's where I'm struggling with this: is there was a makeup pic with Downey where he had the crease on his face, the scar down the nose, and I was like, that sucks. And then I saw potentially what it really looks like with all the burnt clay and the scarring and stuff, and I'm like, oh, that looks cool. So it could be the same thing with Gambit where he's bald, right? And he's got the scar, but that's makeup. So is the next stage of makeup putting on the hair, putting on the rest of the mask and going, Yeah. I have a question about a weird rash I have. Why is it shaped like Vermont? Oh man, that's what you call a sign. And you're probably gonna have to go to Vermont. I've heard they have incredible maple syrup. So maybe you need some incredible maple syrup. You know what Vermont also has randomly? Really, really nice rest stops on their highways. It's kind of wild. So yeah, it's probably definitely real and a sign. And you could take a picture of it and mix it up with AI and send it to us. Everybody announced the chair streak was on the bag. Oh, okay. That's interesting. What about the pics of Doom in the destroyed TVA? Again, I think it's probably a similar story. I do think Doom is going to get into the TVA and destroy it potentially, right? So, yeah, I think that kind of stuff, I think that could be real. But you know what? The other side of this is like, it's so scary how good AI is getting. Like, does anybody else realize that like within this entire conversation, and I said this on Twitter, and I think it's kind of funny. Maybe one of the only people in the world that wishes this had happened a couple of years ago is Andrew Garfield, right? Because, like, think about it. Andrew Garfield gets caught in, like, 8K, and he's on Jimmy Kimmel. And Jimmy Kimmel's, like, grilling about 8K images. And, I bet Andrew was, like, thinking literally just now, within the last couple of days, I wish this was going on when I was the werewolf or when I was pretending to be the werewolf or whatever, right? So, you kind of got to ask yourself, is this actually better or worse than before? And I think there's just a lot of people that are anti-AI and therefore they're upset about AI. And, that's fine. You have the right to that. But I would almost argue this is better because there's so much out there that you kind of have more doubt in general about the validity of everything, which is a nice place to be because it allows you to still kind of be surprised or have a little bit of surprise when you go to watch the film. But it's crazy. I mean, dude, we are to the point, and this is, by the way, this is the worst this tech is ever going to be. Within a couple of months, this tech could be so high fidelity, man. And I started watching, I've seen some actual directors of photography and photographers begin to speak about some of the things that it's noticing AI is doing to replicate what human photography looks like. And it's scary how good it's going to get. Literally, like all the little signs right now, all the little ways you can tell it's not real right now are probably going to go away. And that is like terrifying, but it is also like amazing because that means any person on the planet generally will be able to make literally any image they can think of in any level of fidelity, style, anything. And I think that's actually amazing. And I know, like, not everybody believes it, and some people are really upset about it. I just tend to see the silver lining in these things, and I think it's absolutely fucking incredible. Like, I think it's incredible right now that they're doing these high fidelity images of these superheroes and like giving us like high res versions that look real enough that we can't be sure. I don't know. I mean, it's scary, but it's amazing. You had me at rest stops. There you go, baby. Will you use AI for your Unity project? So probably. I mean, we're probably not going to use it in the first chapter, at least not in the actual work in the book, because we didn't announce that it was AI made. So I want to deliver it to people in the way that it was sold to them. But dude, 100% I would be down. I would 100% be down. And by the way, like, to me, that's sort of a weird question, because I think 90% of all video content will be AI generated within just a couple of years, literally. So like, you're kind of asking me, like, are you going to allow yourself to just completely fall behind the bell curve, or are you going to like use the technology making your product viable in today's market? That's what that question feels like to me. But again, maybe not, maybe not. And the market is the market. So if enough people were like, we don't want that, then it wouldn't work. But I think you look at the views on YouTube of AI generated content, and it's scary how good those views are, brother. I don't think people really care that much. I think generally the consumer does not actually care as much as you think about some of these things. And I think convenience is king. And as soon as it's convenient and ubiquitous, like, everyone will just go along with it. That's my opinion, but I'm always open to feedback. And, ultimately the market is how people in aggregate actually spend their time, dollars, energy on these products or services. So that will bear out, as it always does. A lot of Warhammer channels, AI got tons of views. Yeah, dude, the AI channels that do Warhammer content, it's crazy. It's crazy. I probably won't watch AI shit ever. Maybe not. Maybe you won't. But I just don't believe that. You know what I mean? Like, I just don't believe it. That's like, to me, that's like people being like, dude, Laserdisc is so much better than DVD. The quality's so much better. I'll never just go to DVD quality. You know what I mean? And yet everybody did. Will you create a digital avatar of yourself at that point? Maybe you're already watching a digital avatar. You ever think about that? Maybe I'm already AI. Look, the way I think of it is this. As soon as it is impossible to tell the difference between AI live streamer Josh and real Josh, you will never see me again. Ever. But until that happens, I'm here. We can go backwards, sit still, or go forwards. Those are the options. Yeah. True. AI isn't ready to replace that hair. Yeah, no, in all seriousness, and this is something I'm actually worried about. I actually worry that we might get to a place where there's so much AI stuff out there that people do value real human live streams even more than they do right now. And that would suck. I hope that doesn't happen. Because if that happens, I'll be forced to be here every day. But yeah. Josh, Doom bots at the meetup. Oh, I would love some Doom bots, man. You see, China's building their own kind of like robots. I think they literally call them the T6000s or something crazy. I think there's a company in, Holland or Norway that's building robots. Tesla's building robots. Dude, the future is going to be who has the best robot armies. And also, it's crazy that fast twitch shooter video games have been such a prevalent thing for young people for years. And like people my age play them and stuff too. But like, dude, you know what that is in the next stage of warfare? That is an incredibly big base of pilots for these battle robots. You know what I mean? Like, we're training the next generation of warriors on like arc raiders in Call of Duty and Halo. Absolutely incredible stuff. So yeah. What if your AI self gets you canceled? That's true. Oh, that would suck. No, AI Josh, no. What if AI Josh gets triggered even more than me? What if AI Josh literally has a talk with me and he's like, look, I can't do this shit anymore. Okay, they won't stop with the blob jokes. They won't stop typing 500 in chat. They won't fucking stop. I can't fucking handle it. You know what I mean? Maybe AI Josh can't handle it. I don't know. I don't know. AI Josh is going to be Clue to Josh's Flynn. Ooh, that could be kind of interesting. Yeah. That could be kind of interesting.